Good evening, fans from around the world. My name is Afalabi, and this is the maiden edition of our new show, uh, Nigeria United. With me to discuss on Nigerians and Nigerian football players is Warif and Mustafa. Pierdo is also there. You guys are welcome.
Okay, welcome
Thank you.
everyone. Welcome to our first episode of Nigeria United. And we want to thank our fans in Nigeria, in Ghana, in West Africa, especially also in the US, Great Britain, to our show that started last month, and we've been doing very well. So how is everyone? How's everything in Lagos, Afolabi?
Oh, fantastic. The rains have
Okay.
petered out a little bit. It's
Okay.
just very
So we're
cold.
gonna jump to it because there's so many interesting things happening in Nigeria. So I'm going to start with Warif. How is everything, Warif, in Port Harcourt? Yeah.
Port Harcourt is fine, but just the political drama and the rain.
Oh, yes, rain. What about your team? Because I know you're going to talk to us today about the Nigerian league. Is there a team in River State or in Port Harcourt that's doing very well? Who's doing well now? Well, the season hasn't started yet, so yeah, the season hasn't started.
The state team in River State is Rivers United, which they just got a new coach of Finidi George, an indigene of River State. So,
so Finidi George is their coach now.
Yes, of Rivers United.
Okay. Well, if the Eagles don't want him, you guys have him, and it's your good luck. And also, I love the Super Eagles, but the NFA is messing up, man. You guys are messing up. But continue, sorry. So tell us more about the team, and also tell us about, because you said you're going to update us on the starting of the Nigerian league, because we are one of the programs we're going to focus on our domestic leagues in Nigeria. If nobody else does it, we will. So continue. Thank you very much, Warif. Yeah.
Okay, the Nigerian leagues, fine, we have good players in Nigeria, talent and so on, but there are some challenges that Nigerian leagues are facing. Number one, the government getting involved in Nigerian leagues and also officiating, security, those are the challenges. And sometimes you see that the government get involved with the league and the league will now pause for some time. Like CAF Confederation Cup, they're supposed to submit the names of those who have played the CAF Confederation Cup, CAF Champions League. But Nigeria League will be running to end the league. And when you're forced to end the league, you cannot get the best out of it.
No.
That's one of the challenges of Nigerian League. And the major problem with Nigerian League is that 99.9% of the leagues are run by government. They are run by government, not like the English league that they do it for money. So if Nigerian league wants to get better, there are so many factors. The marketing factor, security factor, officiating factor, which maybe with time I can break down some of them.
Yeah. Personally, I think if it's going to be run by the government, they need to spend a lot of money in it, because one thing that we've seen in Nigeria has a lot of players like Osimhen, Boniface, who play in different countries, but we don't have a strong domestic league. And we're seeing the power of strong domestic league, which is why South Africa played Nigeria so well. And they did well in the last tournament. And also we saw what Spain did at the European Championships. But if you look at Spain, they had a very good player, Olmo. But Olmo played in Germany. So the idea I'm trying to say is that you have to have a strong domestic league, but also export your players to other parts. But if you don't have a domestic league, you don't have a pool of players, you don't have your own style of football. And it's going to make a difference. You need and to me, 60% of a team should be made up by its domestic players. What do you think, Warif? Yeah.
Like what you said, like just for example, the South African League, the North African League. You see, these guys, and again, their economy is good, so they stay at home.
Yes, economy. And South African League is sponsored by DSTV. Yeah. Yes,
the publicity. And once you play at home, you know this player, you know your players very well. And it will help the economy of this thing. People can go out for weekends with their families and their babies to go and watch this game. But in Nigeria, you can't try that for security reasons. The area boys are also there.
Which is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And that's why we have the problem where we have players who move to all these different countries. And number one, thank God Osimhen still plays for Nigeria. A lot of times they just play for another country, Italy or other countries. But even if they play for Nigeria, they come from different parts of the world. They don't play well together when they come together. So the domestic league should be the nucleus of the Nigerian team. And either the government needs to fund it or the government should bring in private organizations to do it and direct it, at least, because Nigeria is not Nigeria the economy is not as advanced as countries like the U.S., where private companies can come in and source it out. But either way, there needs to be an effort to develop the league. So very quickly, what teams do you predict can come top? Let's say the top 3 teams this year. What do you think will be?
In Nigeria, we have Kano Pillars. They have the best fans in Nigeria. We have Enyimba of Aba. We have which other one again? We have Rangers International of Enugu. We have Rivers United. Let's see how Finidi George can take them up.
Yeah, I think they'll do well, especially having him as the coach. And so we're looking, hopefully, that some of our teams can represent us well in the CAF, the competition, the African Cup, sort of like the Champions League, the same equivalent.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's very good. Thank you. So what are your?
Sorry, let me say something. You know, in Nigerian League, Kano Pillars, they have the best fans. These guys, they are ready to close down their shop to go and watch support their team. Then the next club that has the fans also is Rangers of Aba and Rangers International of Enugu. Those, they have good fans also.
Okay. I haven't kept in touch. Is Inyamba still? They don't have a team anymore. Do they still have a team?
Which people?
Inyamba.
Enyimba of Aba, yeah.
Yeah, they're still around. Yeah. I remember. I remember stationary store that. So some of these teams, So there needs to be, and also we as fans, we need to start following the sport more, because that's where money comes in for advertising. So that's one of the things we're going to be pushing.
And Kanu Wankwo is I think the chairman of Enyimba. Yes. He's a businessman.
Yeah. So what we want to do, even though we're on YouTube or other channels and we're competing, that's not what we want to do. We want to shout out to all people who are following and doing content on Nigerian football to start focusing on our domestic league, because it's important for the development of our country, of our players. And if we want to win World Cups and African Nations Cups and things, we need more. What are your thoughts, Biodun, about that?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, like Warif said, spot on with some of the challenges with regards football administration and development in Nigeria. I think one important thing is the rights to broadcast Nigerian Football League games live is also a challenge. I know they broadcast on YouTube and on NFF TV. That is a challenge, not being able to watch this on satellites, on cable around the world. These are some of the matches you can watch anywhere around the world, and this is what also helps scouts in also moving players from the league to Europe. You see why the Egyptian league, the Moroccan league are doing well is because it's televised and you can watch this anywhere around the world, having rights, good TV rights and income generation. And that is one thing MultiChoice has done for the South African Premier League. I think one thing Nigeria needs to do is have our own, to do our own thing. We can't be waiting for foreigners to come and do everything for us in Nigeria. We have to start.
No, we have to do it. We have to do it.
Start getting private individuals into football. And I think one distinct problem is also the interference of politics and governance in sport, like Marie highly said it. No businessman wants to come into a business and invest his money and buy a football club, and tomorrow they change the minister of sports and put some.
No, we can't do that. Yeah.
Entirely. So that is the fundamental problem. The league and the football has to stand on its own, has to be independent from government.
I think for beginning now, the government needs to, like, this is what China does. China government, they run everything, private organizations, but they still lease out things to private individuals. But if those individuals fail, at least the government can guarantee and keep it going. But that's going to take nationalism in Nigeria, where the government realizes that, so we're going to have private organizations that run the leagues and stuff, but there needs to be subsidiaries for it, subsidization and things. And
as a money-making business, with football, Nigerian government can generate income for the country.
Oh yeah, they can do it for the country.
True. Yeah.
But they don't see it as that. They just see it as saying, what are we going to dump money into this thing?
No.
Politics.
No, look, because I don't have it with me. I usually have my Le Bleu thing. Every time I buy that, that's making money for France, national
for instance,
everything.
For instance, now if you want to buy merchandise of the Nigerian Football League team, now where do you want
to people will buy it, because especially back in the day when Nigeria.
No, where do you want to go and get it from? Wait.
Yeah, that's the problem. But
that's the problem. No official club websites. No way you can go online and buy and order and begin.
A lot of the times, there's foreign companies, Nike or whoever does the Nigerian jersey. They're the ones making money off of Nigeria, because we don't have those things.
It's really sad. Sometimes I wish I'm Minister of Sports.
And let me tell you, everybody knows, anybody who studies economics knows that money is actually people. So what I mean is that if you have a lot of people, that's when you get capital from banks to produce things, people and resources. So what I'm saying is that the Nigerian league could make tons of money. So this is a problem of the structure of how economics and politics works in Nigeria.
Yeah,
Thank you.
there's this course I saw, football
Yeah.
business. It's a course that it's being taught in the Johan Cruyff Institute.
We need some capital. We'll make jerseys for everybody and we'll sell it. I'm serious.
For you to understand football, you have to understand football business, and it's a course, it's a master's program on its own.
Yeah, they have courses like this. Yeah.
So you have to really understand the nitty-gritties and everything from owning a stadium, from renting your stadium space to generate income, from ensuring a safe environment for fans to come to buy tickets to watch your games, from merchandising, t-shirts,
Beardon, let me give you an example. Beardon, let me give you an example. In the North, you know that thing where guys box each other and they tie their hands and they fight each other. It's making millions of money. People around the world watch from those guys in the North, Kano and those guys fighting each other. They have 2 million, 3 million viewers from Nigeria and from other parts of the world. It's almost as big as MMA. And people watch that type of boxing because those guys in the North, you can't try that there. When you go to watch the boxing, if you try to cause trouble, you'll get hurt. So, but my point is that those guys in the North, they tend to be more together and work because that thing is making money. I know friends in the U.S. who watch it and they say, "Wow, I didn't know that." And it's only in Nigeria, but other countries now want to create their own league. We can do the same type of thing with the football. Yeah, what do you think?
Brand it and package it appropriately. Once you brand and package it very well, investors will come, and once the mechanism of the league management association is structured in a way that you have people of integrities in the FA, you have people of integrity in the referee association, you have good quality referees, you have ensured security of referee, you introduce VRO, and people that understand football in general. Why won't people want to watch Nigerian league? People want to
definitely.
And you see the likes of Aliko Dangote and the rest will start investing in the clubs and start generating.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so let's move on. Sorry, because
nobody wants to come at this.
Yeah, so we've got about 20 more minutes, but let's move on. Thank you very much. So Afolabi, how are you doing? I know you didn't get a word in on the league yet, but how's everything, Afolabi, in Lagos?
All right.
Okay, so Afolabi, you're bringing up the next topic for us very quickly. What is it that you wanted to discuss? I think you wanted to discuss some of Nigeria's best players right now, especially strikers. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, I wanted to talk about the very successful season that a number of our players had in Europe, starting with Victor Boniface, who had a breakout season by Leverkusen. Leverkusen was able to wrest dominance from Bayern Munich this season with an unlikely title, by beating perennial Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich. So he had he was a rookie of the season after scoring 21 goals and 10 assists. He's really developed under Xabi Alonso, very clinical and composed finisher. Unfortunately, Nigeria couldn't use him during the Nations Cup because of his injury, but he's by far the standout player this season. And then, of course, the star himself, Ademola Lookman, who made history by becoming the first African player to score a hat-trick, the Europa League final. He was after lighting up the stage in the Nations Cup in January, he went on to do very well for Atalanta. And apart from winning the Europa League, he also helped Atlanta to finish top 4 in the Serie A. So he had a very dominant season as well. So,
and one thing I like about him is that he's sort of like a drifter. You can play him on the right wing if you want to. You can play him in the midfield as a midfielding attacker. You can also play him as a false 9. And he can even do a little bit of work on the left. So he's a utility player, winger, attacking midfielder, or even a pure forward if you want. Yeah, thank you very much. Who else? What was the last person you were going to mention? Yeah,
Victor Osimhen. We have to talk about him too. Even though compared to the season before, this season wasn't as stellar as the previous season was, but it was.
Yeah, I think Finidi put a curse on him.
It was Luciano Spalletti leaving that caused his own.
Yeah.
Spalletti was the main reason. because he was
Yeah,
so used to Napoli playing a particular way, and he was so
but
used.
this is the problem, man. When you play in Italy or even Spain, those guys can mess you up too, and they don't care if you don't do well internationally because they care about their own country. You know, you got to be careful
Yeah.
with that, man. He has to be very
Mhm.
careful. Maybe he needs to go to England or Spain or
Oh,
something. And
oh.
if he takes too long, he'll lose his skills. He'll lose his
It's
skills if
true.
he doesn't go somewhere. Yeah. What
Reports,
are your
But
thoughts?
market
reports
value.
is saying that he's going to Paris Saint-Germain, but let Afolabi conclude his thoughts.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Afolabi. Then we'll go to Abiodun. Yeah. Okay.
So basically, like you rightly mentioned, the guy is comfortable either on the right or on the left. Like you normally say, Moose is wingish.
Wingish,
So
yeah, he's wingish.
wingish.
That's the proper word for him, and that's becoming the
The
trend in
norm.
football.
Yeah,
Like for
it's a
example,
trend, yes.
Yamal. I wouldn't call him a pure winger, but he's wingish.
Yeah,
But he can play wing, but he can do midfield. That's becoming the new thing in football because then
Yeah,
it makes
it's
it
the
easier for your manager to interchange players. Like Omo, Omo can play as a attacking midfielder or on the far left, or
yeah,
he can even play as false nine, which is what helps Spain. Continue.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
sorry.
there are a lot of fast, pacey wingers don't have
Yeah,
end product. One good thing about Lookman is that he finishes very well, just like Nico Williams. He's
yeah,
fast, is a good dribbler, but he can finish. He has the ruthlessness of a typical number nine. So he has
yeah,
an end product to his game, which is very good, and he's been very consistent this season. I
yeah.
just sincerely hope he keeps up that momentum this coming season. And
I believe he will. Yeah, and yeah. So thank you very much. So any more players that on the horizon that you want to speak of, or we can move?
I think basically those are the ones that really stood out,
Okay,
really.
okay, thank you. So I think we'll double down on Lookman, who's I think right now he might be one of the most valuable players on Nigeria. But we'll talk about that later. What was your thoughts, Bjorn? Yeah, yeah,
No, I think just rightly said those are some of the key standout players that really performed well in the last season. I think just to chip in, I think another player that really did wonderfully last season was also Wilfred Ndidi, the man for Leicester City. He was also vital in Leicester's promotion back into the Premier League this season.
Premier League.
Having run out of contract at the end of the season, his contract has also been renewed.
is he
with
eligible to play for Nigeria? Yeah.
He plays for Nigeria.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
injured
good.
during the Nations
Plays for
Cup,
the
I
Super
guess.
Eagles. Yes.
Okay.
So it was
Yeah,
Yes,
injured
it
Nigeria
was
was weak in the midfield. What position does he
yeah,
play?
He's a
defensive midfield.
defensive
defensive.
Defensive
midfielder.
midfield. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we had some
So
issues with midfield in the
yeah, so he's
championship.
the one player that they used to call him the upcoming N'Golo Kante, his ball winning skills,
Mhm.
Oh, that's
intellect,
very good. Yeah.
talent. So he was the man they bought to replace Kante when Kante left Leicester City. So it's
Okay.
a very good one, and we could see his absence at AFCON. Our midfield was lagging at certain points when Uwobi could not
Yeah.
cover the number of ground that normally a player
No,
like him.
in fact, no midfield, no midfield,
Yeah,
except,
so and
except
he's
for Iwobi
like
by himself. And, and,
Mhm.
and according to you guys, Iwobi is not a true
he's not a
midfielder,
Defense,
right?
midfielder,
no, no, no,
yeah,
no,
he's
no.
an attacking midfielder.
Mourinho
Attacking
killed
midfielder.
him.
Yeah.
Mourinho killed
Okay. So thank you guys. This has been a great so far, but Bidon, before I move on, is there anything particular you want to focus on Nigerian news and the Nigerian diaspora for football? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yes, I think there are a couple of transfer news, I think, with regards to Nigerian players. There are rumors in the media of Victor Osimhen moving to Paris Saint-Germain.
PSG.
Reports of a deal of £200 million has been sent by Paris Saint-Germain to Napoli for Victor Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia
Wow.
Kvaratskhelia, both Napoli's attacking wingmen. But Napoli has put a stance that they only have an agreement to let Osimhen leave this summer and Kvaratskhelia will stay. But let's see how things keep developing. On the other part, there are also confirmation that Chelsea is also interested in Osimhen, but a lower transfer fee would actually kind of make that happen. I think a couple of Nigerian players are also on transfer move. I think one was also Wilfred Ndidi until he signed his contract a couple of days ago with
Okay.
an extension with Leicester City. So there are various options that he was looking
Wow.
out for.
And let me
But
tell
as
you,
we
things
know,
that yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I cut in front of you. Continue. Yeah.
yeah, so as we go on with these shows, I'm sure we'll be providing more transfer updates with regards Nigerian players playing in
Oh
Europe
yeah.
and of course.
And not only do we focus on players who are eligible for Nigeria, we focus on Nigerian-based players, guys like Eberechi and Co. And the more I learned, like even I didn't know this guy Xerxes. Xerxes is partly, what team is he playing for now? Xerxes is playing for where's he
Manchester
going now?
United. He's going to
Yeah,
Manchester
Man U.
United.
His mother is Nigerian. So we're seeing so much talent that's coming from our area. And then we're only mentioning Nigeria. We stop mentioning Congo and Ghana. Like Tony Williams, his mother is from Ghana. Or even the boy from the young boy, 16-year-old, 17-year-old who wrecked Europe, Yamal. So Africa has tons of talent. And if not for us, you wouldn't see what's going on in European football. Look at Mbappe. His dad is not from Congo, from Cameroon. So we have a lot of talent. We're going to focus. So I'm going to end our show on a fun note. So I asked you guys, who would you take as a winger out of our base, Nigerian base, or wingers? Would it be Saka or Lookman or Olise? I think so. What do you think, Warif? And we know that they don't play for Nigeria, but we're just trying to say who's the best out of those three when it comes to ring. And I think all three of them lean to the right for the wing. Am I right, Warif? They can play. I think Saka can only play on the right, but I think Lookman and Olise is to the right also.
From the defense also. It's just that Saka, he takes his time. He's not that fast. He takes his time to dribble. But for Lookman and Olise, they are very fast. They are forceful. But Saka is not forceful. Saka likes taking his time. Psychedelic football.
He's rigid. His movements are mechanical, and you can read his movement.
You can predict his movements. That's the disadvantage of Saka.
Yeah, but I think that especially Lookman, he's dangerous. He's sort of like a Griezmann guy. He can play anywhere in the pitch, and he can drift, and he's very fluid. So you can't read what he does. Yeah, thank you. What are your thoughts, Falabi? Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. Saka is a very clever player. He doesn't rely so much on his pace, and he's quite one-footed. Uses his left a lot. But if you look at Lookman, Lookman uses both. He's quite adept with both feet. So I think I would prefer a Lookman in my team. But Saka is a very good player, very good finisher of the ball, and a very clever player as well. And Olise, up and coming talent too. I would like to see what they would do in Bayern. You know,
actually, Olise looked to me more he looks more to me like a central forward, but not a good finisher. No, central forward, but he's not like a pure striker like Kane or Kane or Sime. He's more like he can take shots, a little bit more like Lookman, but he can also play very well on the right. Very well on the right.
He can shoot very well.
And he's fast. Yeah.
And he's very quick.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Bjorn, on that? Personally, I think I'll take Lookman over the three of them, but go ahead. Yeah, if I had to choose one,
Sorry, Lookman, Saka, and who is the third person?
Olise.
Michael Olise.
Even though he plays for France, we're trying to say who's the best out of those three as far as being a winger who's on the right, or sort of like attacking midfield or a winger. Yeah.
Okay, I think relatively they all have different style of play. Olise is more of a ball dribbler, take on man, similar with Ademola Lookman also. I know Ademola Lookman was also playing for England that won the Under-17 World Cup at the time. For Bukayo Saka, we know what he can do, what he has been doing in England and what he has been doing in the Premier League. But to be fair, I think as a fan, not being biased, I think I like what we have with Ademola Lookman. I also fancy.
Yeah, I think he's the most versatile out of the three of them. He's the most. But we have to remember that
Saka is not a bad player, but I think he's just way too direct.
He's too direct, too predictable.
Yeah, and he's still young. He's still developing his skills. Same with Olise. Yeah. But if you look at these three players, you can say it's only Ademola Lookman that.
Let me tell you, I think Saka. I know he'll never leave Arsenal, but Saka is somebody who could have benefited from going to Spain or somewhere else to learn some other skills, exporting your players. But I know Warif won't say so because he wants Saka to stay with Arsenal.
that is our star boy, the star boy in Arsenal.
You guys should bring Raheem Sterling. Sterling is on the left.
Sterling is like Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Get in.
Let me tell you, I lost respect for Harry Kane. I lost respect for Harry Kane from that tournament, but continue, Bjorn.
Harry Kane is finished.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, I was trying to remember his name, this Nigerian player also. Fisayo Dele Bashiru also. He moved from Hataya Sport to Lazio on loan with a clause of buy in the next transfer window. So I watched him during the World Cup qualifiers against World Cup qualifiers.
Okay, so Bjorn, you can do I'm going to get you to do a 1-minute expose on him during this week so we can highlight him on our program because we want to make sure we spotlight our good players. Okay.
Yeah, so it was quite impressive during the qualifiers
Yeah.
that he's a very, very good player and born in Nigeria, raised in the UK, and
Okay.
also started developing his skill across Europe. Getting a deal for Lazio is a big one for him.
Oh, that's very big. And this is only the beginning for Nigeria. In a couple of years, you'll see hundreds of Nigerians who are all over Europe, and some of them will play for
Everywhere
other
you
European
go.
teams. And now we need to figure out how we harness them. So I'm going to end on this. I have a
Before
question.
before you end, I want to just say something.
Yeah.
If there was this survey that was done with regards to the top 10 countries that have foreign players in Europe playing their football across Europe, Nigeria is number 9 on that list.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
and not to mention, do you know how many Nigerians are playing in Korea, in Romania, all these small leagues too? There's many of them. Yeah.
India, Indonesia. So our presence is quite there. We are right number 9 in the countries playing football in the world or across Europe. Aside Brazil, Argentina, those are the common ones. Spaniards, French, English.
It's clear. We could be the Nigeria could be the Brazil of Brazil of football. Our main problem is that we need technical training for our midfielders. That's our weakness, and we have to deal with that. But that's a story for another show. Yeah. So, any last thoughts, Bildon, before we head out? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. It's something we should also look to do. We'll be coming with more updates and more interesting facts regarding players in Nigeria and one of Nigerian citizens representing other countries in the show. Is a good one. I think this will also be a very good intervention that we are undertaking to see and highlight the origin of maybe. I think let's see what we can do with Nigeria first, and we can see how we can improve this across the continent of Africa going forward.
Yeah, and please, we'd like to ask you to support our show, like, share, and subscribe, and support other Nigerian independent football shows that are spreading information about our teams. And we're focusing on everything, not just Europe and everything. So we want to thank you. This is Nigeria United. Next week, I'll have my green scarf. Okay, guys. Thank you guys very much in our first show. Please, once again, like and share and subscribe. And thank you very much coming out of Lagos, Nigeria, and also out of Port Harcourt, and also out of Abuja. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone. Okay.
All right.